So it has been confirmed. The loop theory in Silent Hill 2 is 99% real. I don't want to say it's completely real because it's not 100% confirmed, but it is pretty much confirmed. And if you don't know what the loop theory is, that the theory is that James is in a loop. Every time you play the game, James is pretty much going through another cycle. That's why in the game, when you do a new game plus, you get different endings in the game. And the most important clue that leads to the loop theory is that you constantly find dead bodies in the game. And if you look at the dead bodies closely, they look pretty much like James. You know, they have the green jacket on there. They have the same jeans that he's wearing, the same combat boots he's wearing. It's pretty much James. And for the longest time, it's been theorized that it's either loop theory or it's supposed to be like a psychological thing where James kind of like sees dead bodies around Silent Hill, like kind of supposed to be like his like suicidal thoughts. But for me, I personally was a believer of loop theory, but it's pretty much has been confirmed. I'm going to talk about why that is. Now, first of all, you find these bodies throughout the game. There's a bunch of them in the game, and then there's usually a bloody note with it. And if you look at these bloody notes in the game, they're usually something along the line of, if you're reading this, leave, this place is not what it seems. Sometimes you just have to look behind. And these messages kind of does sound like they're from James, where it's like he realized what's going on, like he's in a loop. And if we look at this here, it says run away, like he's going crazy. So that's a theory that I always support. And this was in the original game also. It wasn't as popular in the original game because the graphics weren't as good. So it was kind of hard to make out if the dead bodies were James, in fact. But in the remake, because of the graphics are looking so good, you can pretty much tell. And one of the main things that the remake added to the loop theory is going to be the new Deja vus that they added to the game. Now, at first, we thought that it was just, you know, a little bit of a callback to the previous game, because what they did with the remake was that they changed some of the puzzles around, but then it would keep the previous puzzle as like a little like a hint. But what you can do is you can go to where the old puzzles were, and James will have a deja vu moment there where he'll remember the past a little bit. And at first we thought it was just, you know, like a little callback to the original game. But then there's this one scene with Maria where he actually calls it out saying deja vu, where he kind of like remembers it.
What is it?
Nothing. Just deja vu.
So we had all these theories, and, you know, everyone's arguing about, you know, if it's a loop theory or if it's, you know, just supposed to be, you know, callbacks to the previous games, or if it's just, you know, it's supposed to, James supposed to be seeing dead bodies around because, you know, it's supposed to remind him of his like suicidal thoughts or whatever. But now the main thing that the remake added that's going to prove that it is loop theory is going to be this right here. These strange photos that you find throughout the game. Now, on my playthrough, I didn't find any of them because I was like, I'm gonna miss some, and don't even know what they are. And for the longest time, no one knew what they were. You just find these random photos, and then it'll have a text on it saying like ready to kill it. And then if you flip it around, there's a number in the back. So for, I don't even know, it's been like a month or two since the game came out. No one knew what these were until the Redditor figured out what it is, and the developer actually confirmed this. So let's go over it. And this is going to be it right here. This was made by Dale Robinson on Reddit. He figured out, which he said, you know, I solved the Silent Hill 2 remake photo secret. And here's what he found. So what you do is if you put all of these images together. So if we open this up right here, you can see all the pictures. The first one's going to be this one. So many people here. No one knows. Your best buddy. All these photos. And I believe there's how many? 20. There's 26 of them. And what you have to do, you just have to count out the things that stand out in all the photos. So in the first photo, the windows stand out. So if you count all the windows in the photo, there are 6 windows. You get to the letter 6. So it goes to Y. On the second photo, you count the bedposts, which you can see right here. There's 2 of them. You get to O. On the third one, there's 3 light spots. You can see 1, 2, 3, and then so on. And you do all of them. And what you get is you've been here for 2 decades. That's crazy. And even the developer Methuselah called it out. I knew it wouldn't stay hidden for long. There was a theory in our community that the puzzle might be too hard, and it did take people a while to figure it out. And he said, I really want to make it subtle when I was painting those photos. I think the timing could have been better for it to solve it. Which makes you curious. Is there DLC coming out? Is there a sequel announcement coming out? But he is hinting at something here, and he is calling out the message on here. So that is very exciting. Someone did reply saying that, the loop theory is canon, Jesus, saying that they're disappointed. And then Matthias replied with, is it? So I don't know. Is it canon now that the loop theory is, canon? For me, it is. Loop theory is something I always believed in. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially considering the game has so many endings to it. I think there's 7 to 8 endings to the game, so it does make sense for, the player to be constantly playing the game over and over again, but also things changing in the cycles also, from new game to new game plus. That kind of hints at it also, but at the end of the day, people can have their head canon. Some people might say it's, James's psychological state that, makes the dead bodies appear. But I think the notes kind of point towards that there is a loop happening where James is kind of in like a purgatory stage. And also another hint I will say is that the original developer of Silent Hill 2 did say all the endings were canon. He didn't say, Underwater's canon or, him leaving with Laura's canon. No, he said all of them are canon. And that would kind of make sense with the loop theory where all of the endings did happen in just different cycles. And that would also kind of confirm that Silent Hill Remake is technically a sequel, where the original game was, maybe loop 4 or 5, while this game is like loop 1000 or something, since it's been 20 years. And that's why things in this game are different from the original, because it's a different loop and every loop is slightly different. So I'm all for the loop theory. So hopefully they'll make a DLC for this game with, Laura's DLC not being in the game. Maybe that will also be different. Maybe that'll add more to the loop theory. But guys, let me know in the comments section below. Are you a believer of the loop theory, or are you against? Are you saying it's something else? And if you have other theory, let me know in the comment section below. But if you're a loop theory loyalist like me, let me know, because that's what I believe. I think that pretty much confirms it. I think that's the one that makes the most sense for what James has done. I feel like Purgatory in Silent Hill constantly has to go over it. That makes most sense for the story of the game. But anyways, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what your headcanon is. Well, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.